now we got that. That's good.
Junior number 1,
This is
Lily Longwith.
you're good.
Junior number 3,
Oh, yeah, keep doing that.
Senior number 4, Ella Halverson. Senior number 5, Tori Sree. Junior number 8, Kylie Vanderloop. Junior number 10, Lacey Remy. Senior number 11, Ava Luthrock. And senior number 14, Keesley Smith. And all the starters for Luverne. Junior number 2, Ella Reisdorfer. Senior number 6, Belle Schmidt. Junior number 9, Peyton Bear. Junior number 12.
All right, mic check, mic check. Sound okay on your guys' end?
Senior number 13, Kira John. And senior number 18, Morgan Arndt. Luverne is coached by Sarah Revere, assistant coaches Krista Arndt and April Wallace. Let's play volleyball.
And welcome back to our coverage of Luverne Cardinals volleyball here on AM 800 KQAD. The Missouri Mule bringing you live play-by-play coverage of the game here this evening. Now, as we take a look at our starting lineups out on the floor so far, before we've already got a couple of late-minute substitutions as per usual. Looks like we've got Morgan Arndt, Sneller, Belle Schmidt, Peyton Bear, Ella Reisdorfer, and Kira John out there for Luverne. So Reisdorfer, Schmidt, Bear, Sneller, Arndt, and Kira John out there for Luverne. And starting for Luverne, they're going to lead things off here tonight. Morgan Arndt, who's going to be lead off the serving. Her serve is up, dug inside by Redwood Valley, and it's going to be an ace right off the bat. As Callie Johnson is unable to lift the ball off the ground, that'll go into the net, and that's going to be an early point for Luverne. It's now 1-0. Morgan Arndt with the serve again. Up it goes, and it's picked up in the back row. In front there for Arata. Smashed right along, dug inside by Arndt. In front for Sneller. Here goes John with a tap, but just got the fingertips on it. Didn't exactly go where she wanted it to. And that's going to be a point for Redwood Valley. Kenzie Lundeen for the Redwood Valley Cardinals now serves. Up and over it goes for Arndt. Set up by Sneller on the outside. Tapped right along. The block is up and good. Over it goes, and it's picked up by Belle Schmidt. Now to Seller again. Over for Reisdorfer. Over the arm. Tried to hammer swing it. And in the back row, that was Kenzie Lundeen, and Lundeen's unable to get a hold of it, and it's now 2-1. Tori Sree's going to sub in for Belle Schmidt, as in the back row to serve is Ella Reisdorfer. She'll serve it up. It's picked up there by Berzin. On over, smashed right along, and finds some bare ground in the back row there. Good smash by Kendall Huntercook, as she'll actually go back to serve there for the Redwood Valley Cardinals. Tied up here at 2. So Huntercook with the serve. It's over. Picked up by Arndt. On over. Tapped along by Bear. In front again for Arata. Tapped right along. Up over the fingertips of Kira John again. Looks like Kira John's got a little bit of butterfingers here tonight, but still early in the game yet. She'll figure something out. 3-2 in favor of the Redwood Valley Cardinals. Serve from Huntercook again, up for Arndt. Tipped over for Bear, and in the back row for Reisdorfer. Back in then for Lundeen. Lundeen goes off her thumbs and way out of bounds, trying to chase it down. Is Redwood Valley, but they'll come unassisted with that one, so that'll go out of play. We're tied up at 3. Looks like Keesley Smith will join us, as Sneller will go to the bench. Ellie Halverson will also trade places with Peyton Bear as Halverson serves. Up and over it goes there for Johnson. In front for Arata. Slapped right along. Saved by Reisdorfer. In front for Halverson. Here comes the snatch up ahead. And there's Kira John putting a little mustard on that one. And Kira John picks up the kill. Makes it now 4-3 in favor of Luverne. So Halverson with the serve, goes right in the net. There's the service error. And we're tied up at 4. Now in the back row, Madison Mertens to serve here for Redwood Valley. Their serve goes way up in the back, picked up by Luverne in front for Tori Suri. Keesley Smith with a shot up and over it goes. Good play by Keesley Smith as that goes past Callie Johnson. Another point for Luverne. Now into the game is Kylie Vanderloot, who serves. Picked up by Mertens. In front for Arata. Smashed on over and dug inside, but that's going to go into the Luverne bench. It was a good play by Ella Reisdorfer, but not quite in the direction she wanted to go. It was a quick reaction dig that kind of moved over and went into the Luverne Cardinal bench, and that's not to dive and cause injury. So Callie Johnson serves. Goes back for Reisdorfer, in front for Halverson. On over it goes again for Tori Suri with the kill. And Tori Suri picks up a point there for Luverne. It's now 6-5 in this very close back and forth game. Speaking of which, Tori Suri now goes back to serve for Luverne. Serve is up and picked up by Mertens. Up on top there for Arata, the outside Lundeen with a shot. The block in front is good. Thanks to the play there by Morgan Arndt and Keesley Smith. Makes it now 7-5. Tori Suri with the serve again. Way too soft on it, and that one's going to go directly into the net. Kind of one of those plays that she wished she could have back a little bit. And fortunately, that's another service error against the Cardinals, so it's now 7-6. In the back row is Bryn Fairzen, Romero for Redwood Valley. Picked up by Vanderloop in front for Smith. The outside Reisdorfer with a shot. Back for Fairzen. Goes off her shoulder. She wasn't quite ready for that one, and that's going to be another point for Luverne. So 8-6 now as we'll get a few substitutions out there. Anna Sneller, one of the substitutes in for Keesley Smith, will go back to serve for Luverne. Sneller's serve is up, picked up there by Johnson. On the inside from Mertens, slapped along by Lundeen. In the back for Belle Smith, who subbed in. Now Sneller to Reisdorfer. Slapped along for Johnson. In front, Arata. Arata finds some ground behind Sneller. Makes it now 8-7. Sneller just kind of misread that play just a little bit. It goes right behind her. Now the serve from Arata. Picked up by Belle Smith in front for Sneller. And then Smith will toss this one over. Now for Johnson in front and slash right along on the side. And are they going to award that one to Luverne? I think they will. According to the line judge, that went out on the far side. I'm going to take that. Can't really see too well from my angle, but you're going to say that one was out. So now Morgan Arndt will go back to serve for Luverne. As this one is picked up by Fairzen. In front for Arata. Smashed along, and they're going to say that one was in that time. So good play against the line by Redwood Valley, and they'll take that point back. So they try the same thing again, and it's now 9-8. Back to serve is Kenzie Lundeen. Lundeen serves. It's picked up there by Smith. In front for Sneller comes the smash. That's going way out. As Peyton Bear tried to find a good shot, but we tie this one up at 9. So now Lundeen with the serve. Up by Smith, gets a bad angle on it, and going in for the dive is Reisdorfer, and that's going to go down as an ace. Goes off the thumbs of Belle Smith there, and so one thing you got to worry about is when it goes off the thumbs, it goes off of any direction. Can't really control it. So Sneller takes a receive. Here comes Kira John, goes right past the block, and Kira John decides to tie this back up at 10. So good play by Kira John, smashing through the block. Now back to serve is Reisdorfer. Gentle serve up and over. Picked up there by Arata. Smashed right along, and there's nothing you can do on that. Morgan Arndt just going to have to stare at that one and let it go by. There's too much speed on it. So good kill by Redwood Valley from Hunter Cook. Hunter Cook serves. It's up again by Reisdorfer. Picked up there by Bear. Smacked along by Arndt, but too much. And that'll go behind the back row. Makes it now 12-10. So 12-10 in favor of Redwood Valley. Hunter Cook with the serve. Picked up by Reisdorfer, on over there to Bear. Reisdorfer with a smash, goes up and over. Sneaks past the block. And Reisdorfer puts Luverne with another point on that one. 12-11 in a good back and forth game between these two. As I mentioned before, a little bit of bad blood. Redwood Valley knocked Luverne out of the playoffs last year. So the serve from Halverson over to Lundeen, on out for Mertens with a tap. And they're going to say that one goes out of play. So Mertens tried to find a little quick tap, and that just goes out of play past the line, according to the line judge, and that's going to make it 12 even. Halverson serves this one again. In the back row there by Lundeen. Up in front of the net, way too close to play for Arata, and now Luverne retakes the lead, 13-12. So Halverson with the serve yet again. It's up and over. Picked in the back row by Lundeen. In front on the outside. Tapped by Johnson. Dug in by Suri. Picked up by Halverson. Off the ceiling it's going to go. Putting the play from Arata, and Arata just couldn't quite tap that one. And Luverne's going to take the point, 14-12. Timeout on the floor, and I got to say, this is a giant improvement from this Luverne team. Even though their record does not show that they're improving, they are improving. This is an absolutely fantastic performance from this Luverne Cardinals squad. I give them full kudos. Full kudos. They're doing exactly what we want them to be, and that is a well-oiled machine, and they're doing a fantastic job of that. You're communicating real well, something that's kind of been struggling with them in the beginning portion of this season, but now we're starting to see them communicate a lot better. They're not kind of having like three people jump for the ball at the same time like they used to. They're doing real well communicating, and that's what's important. So Halverson goes back to serve yet again for Luverne. They lead at 14-12 out of the timeout. Serve is up and picked up by Lundeen. On over for Mertens. Then tapped right along by Larson. Back row for Arndt. Up to Halverson. Smashed by Tori Suri, but dug inside by Halverson. Then smashed along again. Saved by Tori Suri to Halverson. And knocked over by Keesley Smith. Up to Larson. In front. Smashed along by Mertens. Dug inside by Arndt. Now to Halverson, and poor John just didn't quite get the timing right, and that's going to go directly into the net. But great defense by Luverne. That's one of their better volleys that they've had all season. Excellent play. Mertens with the serve for Redwood Valley. Inside for Reisdorfer to Halverson. Tori Suri with a smash, goes right behind. That goes behind Lundeen, and that's going to be a point for Luverne. They still lead this one 15-13. Vanderloot with the serve as she subs into this game. It's picked up and tapped along. On over for Suri to Halverson. Moved by Keesley Smith. Then to Larson. Smashed along by Mertens. Back to Vanderloot. Tapped along. Saved by Larson. In front for Arata. Smashed by Johnson, and nobody's there. So Johnson finds some open ground and picks up the kill. Makes it 15-14. So Callie Johnson with the recent kill for Redwood Valley goes back to serve. It's up and over for Vanderloot. Saved by Suri and then tapped along by Arndt. Arndt's going to find some solid ground, tucked in the corner pocket. Oh, that's a great shot by Morgan Arndt. 16-14 now in favor of Luverne. So back to serve is Tori Suri. This one goes up and over for Merkins. Into Arata, smashed along, and there's Hunter Cook. Can't leave her, I'm sorry, that was Larson, actually. Larson found some solid ground, picks up the kill, and it's now 16-15. So Kylie Larson found some good open ground behind the whole back row of Luverne. Picks up the kill. Now Ferris in with the serve to Vanderloot. Picked up by Keesley Smith on out for Reisdorfer, but that's way too much on it. Are they going to say that there was like a net touch on that? I don't believe it. They're going to say that a Redwood Valley player actually touched it. Wow. So after the serve, goes in front for Arata, smashed along by Lundeen. Then Lundeen does a little fake move, and there's Hunter Cook with it, and Hunter Cook actually picks up the point there. So it's 17-16 now. To serve Arata, over to Vanderloot, in front for Sneller, and that's a bit too close to the net, can't really do much on the toss-up, and that's going to be a point there, ties it up at 17. It's a good play by Sneller, but just way too close to the net, you definitely don't want to do those. And Arata will smash this into the net for a service error, and that brings it back to 18-17 in favor of Luverne. So Luverne retaking this lead. As Morgan Arndt goes in for the serve. Goes over and be picked up by Johnson. In front for Arata, smashed by Hunter Cook, but dug in by Morgan Arndt. Saved by Bell Smith and moved along by Keesley Smith. Then on over for Hunter Cook. In front, she'll try to smash, and that goes off the foot of a jumping Sneller. And that's going to be a kick and a point. Ties it back up to 18 as Kenzie Lundeen will serve for Redwood Valley. Picked up by Arndt, set up by Smith, and over it's going to go for Bear. Into Arata. Hunter Cook with a gentle tap over the block, and that's going to go over Kira John, who set herself up real nicely for it, but unfortunately, she just couldn't quite save herself with it, and that's quite all right. 19-18 in favor of Redwood Valley, picked up by Smith off the serve. Kira John with a tap on over for Arata. Into Farazin, smashed by Merkins to Sneller. Now to Bear on over, tapped along in front. Kira John with a block, picked up by Johnson, smashed. John with a block again to Martins in front. Reisdorfer. Then on over to Redwood Valley as they'll play inside. Arata takes it. Johnson tips it on over. Out to Arndt again. Sneller. Slapped along, way too high. It's a good play, but Peyton Bear got a bit too much behind it. And Lundeen, I know she wanted to go for it on that one, but she chose not to, and that's going to go out of play. 2018, and service error into the net it goes. Off the serve of Lundeen. And it goes now to being 20-19, still in favor of Redwood Valley. In the back to serve is Reisdorfer. Over now to Farazin to Arata. Smashed by Hunter Cook, and they're going to say inside on the line. So Hunter Cook picks up the point on the far side. And Hunter Cook, we know from last season to even now this season, she's got a real good kill on her. Speaking of which, she'll serve this one, picked up by Reisdorfer, on over for Bear, and tipped along by Sneller, but that's going to be touched 4 times, as Sneller didn't quite get under it. Tori Sree with the lob over, and that's going to be the 4th touch. So another point goes over to Redwood Valley. They lead it 22-19. Another timeout on the floor here for Luverne, and I still have to say, this is just an absolutely fantastic improvement. There's really, it's kind of like an almost night and day difference compared to the first chunk of this season to the game that we're watching now and broadcasting now. It's a big night and day difference from this Luverne squad. I don't know what's going on. I really don't know what to tell you as to why there's such a big difference. It's maybe they've just slowly kind of worked it out together. They the kinks and everything, and said we just got to keep working together. We got to talk, and sure enough, Reisdorfer. In front, Snell. Here, John. Too much on it. That's out of play. 23-19. Hunter Cook dug in by Reisdorfer in front for Sneller. On over goes for Bear. Then to Arata. Set up by Hunter Cook. Here goes Mertens with the slam, and that's going to go out of play. And it's now 23-20. Luverne's going to go in for the serve. Halverson, recently subbed into the game, picks up the service. Picked up by Hunter Cook, over to Arata. Smashed right along by Larson. Then on over to Halverson. With a shot, Tori Suri finds the line, and Tori Suri picks up a big one. Brings it now 23-21. So Halverson with the serve again. Barely squeaks over, picked up by Hunter Cook, on over to Arata. Tapped along by Hunter Cook again. Now to Suri, to Halverson. Smashed along, up off of Arata. Saved him back by Lundin. Tipped over by Larson. Then to Arndt. Now to Halverson, outside Tori Suri with a slam, but too much mustard on it, and that goes out of play. It looked so good. It looked textbook, but just way too much on the power. As Merkins will serve this one to John. In front, tipped along by Hunter Cook. Now to Halverson. Tori Suri with a shot up. Saved in the back by Lundin. Then over it goes. Larson taps it right along. Picked up by Arndt. Now on to Halverson. Keesley Smith with a tap. Picked up by Merkins. On over to Arata. Slapped by Johnson. Trying to save it on over, and it's going to go out of play. And there goes set number one in favor of Redwood Valley. Now, I know Luverne lost that set, but by golly, they have done exactly what we want them to do, and that's definitely work on their communication skills. They have done that. A-plus effort to them. I feel really good about the direction that this game is going. Yeah, they lost the first set 25-21, but that's not what we're taking away from this one. We're taking away the fact that Luverne is communicating. I know I've mentioned that a lot. I've kind of beaten that horse to death, but if you really have been paying attention to what their season looked like to now, I can't tell you anymore how great it is to see them really working the ball with their teammates. It's not one of those that the same person has to touch it every time. They're doing a fantastic job with it. The second thing is they've eliminated service errors. They only down themselves to 2 over the course of that first set, because normally throughout these games they have at least about 5 or 6 during the whole span of the set. So they're doing a really good job with that one as well. And lastly is they're finding good timing with their kill shots. They're doing excellent positioning, and they're just doing an all better job around on offense, and they're doing a really good job reacting to kills on their defense. So full kudos. Can't wait to see what the next portion of this game is going to look like as we take a brief pause, and we'll wait for set number 2 on AM 800 KQAD. welcome back to our coverage of Luverne Cardinals volleyball on AM 800 KQAD. The Missouri Mule live with you as we now jump into set number 2. Leading off is going to be Redwood Valley, and Arata serves this one up to Belle Smith in front to Sneller. It goes over the net, tapped along. Smith with a good dig awkwardly, and that's going to be picked up by Arata on the return. Moved over, here goes Merkins on over the block, and Merkins will pick up a point and start things out for Redwood Valley as they lead this one now 1-0 here in set number 2. Now Luverne, they did lose set number 1, 25-21. We're back here in set number 2. Arata serves this one up, picked up by Vanderloop. Over to Arndt, now over to Bear, picked up by Merkins, tapped up by Arata. Merkins jumps in, finds some ground in front of a diving Sneller, and there's point number 2. So now 2-0 in favor of Redwood Valley. Arata with the serve again. Up over for Smith. Picked up by Bear. On over now to Arndt. In the back for Farazin. To Arata. Smacked by Hunter Cook and finds some nice ground in front. And Hunter Cook with a smash. She's got a cannon on her. Makes it now 3-0. With the serve. Over it goes for Vanderloot, in front for Sneller. Tipped along, saved by Farazin. And I'm not sure what the call against was, but I believe it's going to be against Luverne. Not quite sure what happened. I think they said it was an illegal hit on Luverne. So 4-0. Vanderloot now to Sneller. Picked up by Reisdorfer. In the back for Johnson. Moved over on the side by Lundeen. Gets a little bit of luck as that tips off of the net. Finds some splash ground, and that's going to be another point. It's now 5-0 in favor of Redwood Valley. Arata serves on over now to Belle Smith. Picked up by Bear and moved over by Arndt. In the back row for Arata. To Farazin. Smashed right along in the back by Johnson. Over it goes. Picked up by Farazin again. Arata in front. Tipped over the block. Tried to dig it in. It was a good attempt there by Reisdorfer, but Reisdorfer couldn't quite get it high enough for a diving Vanderloot. And it's going to be now 6-0 in favor of Redwood Valley. Arata with a serve on over to Vanderloot. Picked up by Arndt and moved aside by Smith, but now there's a bit of a communication error as both Smith and Vanderloot tried going for the ball at the same time. So now 7-0. Arata to continue serving. Over it goes now to Belle Smith. Saved inside by Arndt and in front for Peyton Bear and goes over the running Callie Johnson and shuts down a 7-point margin. Brings it now to 7-1. Luverne picks up a very much needed point. So now Morgan Arndt goes back with the serve. Over it goes to Farazin in front for Arata. Smashed right along by Hunter Cook. And I don't know how you can defend yourself against that one. Hunter Cook's she's got everything from the wind-up to the precision to the speed. I don't know how you're supposed to defend against that one. And Hunter Cook just does a fantastic job as Lundeen will serve. Tipped up the side, saved and dug in. Moved over, it goes by Arndt. In the back row by Lundeen again. Picked up by Arata. Run over, it goes to Merkins, but Mertens will just get fingertips on it, and that one will go into the net. 8-2. And in the back row is Reisdorfer to serve. Reisdorfer picks it up, and then in the front, there's Arata. Moved on over, tipped inside, and Morgan Arndt just didn't quite get in front of it enough, and that's Callie Johnson with a point. Ball kind of went a little bit shallower than she would have liked. 9-2, here goes Hunter Cook in the back row to serve. That's going to be a service error, and that goes right into the net. So Luverne now has 3. 9-3 is the score. In the back row, Halverson to serve as she subs into this game. Halverson, serve is over, picked up in the back end by Lundeen, moved inside by Johnson. Hunter Cook with a tip on over. Over to Tori Suri, and Tori Suri kind of misjudged that play. Goes over to Keesley Smith, and a late reaction from Arndt, and that would have been a 4-touch as well. So I'm not sure what happened to Luverne in the intermission, but Mertens serves it up to John in front for Tori Suri to move it over. In the back for Lundeen, set up by Arata, and that's a smash by Larson. Tipped up by John in front for Mertens to Arata. And now Johnson will serve this one out. But they did say it went off the hand of Kira John, who tried to set up for the block. So it's now 11-3. Mertens serves this one up to Orange. Picked up by Halverson in front for Tori Suri. Tips it over. There's Johnson to Arata. Johnson goes back. The block is in front good, but that goes out of play where the ball lands. And they are going to say it was touched 4 times by Redwood Valley. Interesting enough. So it's now 11-4 in favor of Redwood Valley, and Vanderloot goes to serve. This one goes over to be picked up by Hunter Cook in front of Arata. Smashed along by Larson. Goes off the hands of Reisdorfer, and Reisdorfer doesn't really know what to do with that one, as the speed was just a bit too much for her. And it's now 12-4. Callie Johnson with the serve, picked up by Vanderloot. Now on over to Halverson, shot by Morgan Arndt, picked up by Mertens, in front for Hunter Cook. Tapped along and dug inside by Tori Suri. Now to Halverson, tapped by Keesley Smith, in front for Arata. Picked up by Hunter Cook. Mertens with a shot, and that goes over. And that's a point for Luverne. 12-5 after that kill had too much power on it, so it'll go out of play in the back row. Tori Suri to serve for Luverne. This one goes up over for Mertens, saved inside by Johnson and moved over by Hunter Cook. And Vanderloot in front, Sneller tap up and good. Oh, good change-up play by Luverne as Morgan Arndt just kind of goes and just squeaks over the block. Picks up a point there, so it's now 12-6. As Luverne is slowly crawling out of the hole they kind of dug themselves in early on, but they're doing really good now. Here comes Tori Suri, picked up by Mertens, moved over by Johnson, and Mertens is going to send this one over. Now to Tori Suri, to Halverson, on over, shot by Reisdorfer, up and good. Reisdorfer with a kill. 12-7 as Luverne is making their comeback. So Tori Suri goes back to serve yet again. A gentle one goes up for Hunter Cook in front of Arata. Tipped along by Larson. In the back row to Halverson to Smith. Now in front, shot up and in. It's going to be a 4-touch. As the block was ineffective because the ball did bounce out of the net and touched by Luverne. So a 4-touch for Luverne brings that point back to Redwood Valley as Bryn Farazin, the libero for the Redwood Valley Cardinals, will go back to serve. 13-7 as this is picked up by Smith. Goes over to Smith, and Arndt tries to go in but kind of goes off the side of her hand into the net. And it's now 14-7. So 14-7, back as far as in to serve again. There's Belle Smith, picked up by Smith on the outside. A shot, Reisdorfer in the back row for Johnson. Picked up for Arata, tipped along, block is up and good. Then Arata settles it down. On the back end is Johnson. Over to Vanderloot, it goes clean over to Mertens. Arata, shot by Hunter Cook, and a diving play by Reisdorfer, but not enough. That's going to make it 15-7. So Farazin will go back to serve again. Over it goes to Smith, in front for Smith, and she'll tap it over back to Farazin. In front of Arata, shot, and that's good. A kill by Lundeen. And it's now 16-7. as there wasn't much Halverson could do on that play, and here comes a timeout from Luverne. So I'm really not sure what happened in between the intermission here, because Luverne, they look so confident, they look so, you know, charged, they look like they were doing absolutely fantastic there in set number 1, and then all of a sudden Redwood Valley said, we're going to take the training wheels off here and we're actually going to play some volleyball, and then it was just kind of like, I don't, something out of the Twilight Zone almost. And now Redwood Valley picks up 7 in the initial start of this set, and that's kind of the difference maker here, as they now lead 16-7 over Luverne. Now, if there's one thing Luverne definitely needs to take full advantage of, it's the power of the timeout. And Coach DeVere really knows how to kind of use those timeouts to her advantage, and hopefully we can kind of shake things up a little bit, as Luverne is slowly crawling out of that 7-point deficit. But I'm not quite sure what happened. It was really back and forth. It was a really well-oiled machine, and now it looks like we need to kind of put a little bit more oil on some of those joints for Luverne, and they can get their train back on the track. Service goes up, and there goes Belle Smith with it. Up to Keesley Smith in front, and they're going to say it was touched twice by Luverne. So another point goes on over to Redwood Valley, and it's now 17-7. Over it goes, and Belle Smith takes it off the shoulders, but saves it long, and it's not high enough for Reisdorf to try to get a kill with it, and that goes directly into the net. So it's now 18-7. There's and serves it again. Up and over it goes to Vanderloot. In front of Smith. Now Reisdorfer. Back to Mertens. Arata on the outside. Lundin with a shot and a team of power. And that shuts down another stretch for the Cardinals. That time only 6 points, but it's 18-8, and Luverne kind of needs a big game plan here. As Sneller goes in to serve. This one's up and over. Off the hands awkwardly of Johnson, and Johnson's kind of like, oops, I shouldn't have probably done that. And that'll go out of play before Arata can do anything about it. So 18-9 as Luverne is slowly trying to bite back into this set here. Sneller with the serve. This time settled down by Johnson. In front for Arata. Hunter Cook with a slash. Up and over it goes, and they're going to say a point goes to Redwood Valley, as they are going to say it was a net touch, and it was touched twice by Luverne. So that brings it up 19-9. In the backcourt to serve is Arata. Picked up by Vanderloot. Now to Sneller in front. Tipped on over, and that's too much power on the shot there from Peyton Bear. I guess Peyton Bear or Reisdorfer. I'm not sure which one that was there, but nevertheless, the point is going to go to Redwood Valley. 20-9 as Arata serves this one over to Bell. In front of Sneller. In the back row for Arata. Saved inside by Johnson and moved over by Fairs. In the Vanderwood. I'm going to say that was a lift on Vanderwood. She kind of caught it in like the triangle area. So when your arms are connected for the bump, it was like caught right in between the shoulders and right where the arms kind of go together. And the ball was really lifted up. Can't really do that. So it's now 21-9 as Arata serves again. Up and over to Belle Smith. To Sneller outside. Tapped along by Peyton Bear. And moved on by Mertens. Dug in the back by Sneller. That goes over by Bear. Bear's in. To Johnson on over it goes. Back to Smith. And Sneller on with a slam. Off the hands of Arata. And she kind of throws that one to the back end. And that's going to be a buck. It's now 21-10. Morgan Hart goes back to serve for Luverne. Needing some points here as Fairson collects to Arata. And there's Hunter Cook with it. Dug in by Smith. Picked up by Mertens. On over to Arata again. Back in by Johnson, but not high enough. That one goes into the net. So a good dig by Belle Smith puts the ball back into possession. Redwood 11.